Hi, Vincent Hammer from Exocad. Just another unofficial video showing some new features in the upcoming Partial CAD release. Partial CAD Galway release, that is. So if you go into Add Part, you'll notice that there is a new option here called Remove from Wax. So in a sense, Remove from Wax and Refractory are very similar, but of course the difference is you're actually adding something to Refractory and it permanently stays there. Remove from wax will just remove a mesh from the wax and will not add anything to the refractory. So let's just show what that would look like. So I have here selected Pontic 17. I'm going to remove it from any wax that is intersecting with it. I could also do fill imported part to bottom, which would, give it a zero draft, which is sometimes useful, but in this case I'm not going to do it. And you can also add an extra offset to remove a little bit more than the object itself. Okay, so let's see what we get. Okay, so as expected, you see that it's removed all of the wax that it was intersecting with, and if we turn this back on, you can also see that it it added extra relief around what it removed. Okay, so now this particular use probably never would do this, remove the tooth from the mesh, but there's another thing that's also been added is that now in the imported parts you have the ability to select the antagonist parts. In this case, the only antagonist that we have is the antagonist jaw scan. But if you were to import a case that has partials on both sides or that has reconstructions on the other side, they would all be in the antagonist, and so any of those could be removed. So let's do that. It just happens that this particular case actually has, oddly enough, a place where it intersects, where the antagonist intersects with the tooth. So in real life, you'd be much more interested in doing this with places where you have a rest stop, right? Obviously, just to make sure, because that's on the occlusal table, and you want to make sure that that doesn't touch your antagonist, so you could remove it that way. Let's do the same thing. We'll remove it with 140 microns here, and let's see what happens. Okay, so you see that it's removed that area. Turn the antagonist back on. You can see that it's removed it with relief. Okay, so those both hint at a possible usage. There's another interesting usage of this feature. So this is another case. People are often asking me how they can go back and modify partials. And in this particular case, we have here a tooth, imported part here that was converted to wax. Now let's assume that we want to change how that tooth behaves. So what you had to do before is you had to go into the select wax tool and sort of select it and delete it. But with this new feature in Add Part, it's much easier. So let's see, we have the inside of the coping and the coping itself. We just set it to active, and we set remove from wax. We don't have to apply it. We don't want to fill it, and this should just remove the tooth. Okay, so now we have just removed the tooth from the wax. So if we wanted to further repair this, we'd have to clone in here a little bit, but you get the idea. It's basically removed the tooth there, and now you could go back and add the tooth back in with different settings if that's what you'd wanted. So maybe instead of editable, you want to make it non-editable. So that it actually merges that and merges it losslessly. Okay, I'll make another video on that. But basically, I just wanted to show you what you can do with this new remove from wax feature. Thanks a lot, guys.